The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
Somebody told me a beautiful story. He was a Talmud of many years of Rav David Feinstein. Zecher Tzadik L'Vracha. Rav David originally was a 12th grade Rebbe. And he came in one day, and two Talmidim were having a disagreement with each other, shall we say, a shoving, whatever. And he told them a story that he used to go every day, Rav David used to go every day to the Svarim store. In the east side, there were a lot of Svarim stores. He had a room in the back of the Svarim store, and he used to say Tillim there. I think he needed a place private where they have to say Tillim for a few minutes. So he used to go to the Svarim store. And he said on his way to the Svarim store, he used to cut across a lumber yard. And once one of the workers in the lumber yard yelled at him and said, "Oh, now that you're becoming a big Gadol, doesn't pass for you to say good morning to me anymore?" So David kept walking. And instead of going to the Svarim store, he went to the post office. And in the post office, he wrote a postcard to this person and said, "I apologize for not saying good morning loud enough to you." Because he told him good morning. Obviously, the guy didn't hear. So instead of saying, "I did tell you good morning, okay? You have problems with your ears, get hearing aids." He didn't answer him. Let him vent. He went and wrote out a postcard. I apologize for not saying good morning loud enough to you. That was his mitzias. So that itself is a lumdus. But he used to say that his father, Moshe, used to repeat this the whole time. Nobody can hurt you. No one gives you anything. No one takes. Yeah, we have to have a car type. That's a din. Everything comes from the Rebbeinu Shalom. Everything is from Shemayim. So Rav Moshe has his Chuvas Igros Moshe. And somebody once put out a whole sefer attacking all of Rav Moshe's response in halacha. And he didn't do it l'shem Shemayim. No way. It was just to knock Rav Moshe. And Rav Moshe had a lot of tzar from this. He really, really did. He had a lot of tzar from it. And the man wrote very chutzpahdik toward Rav Moshe, put out a whole sefer toward him. It didn't end very good for him, but either way. And he said that once Reb Tuvia Goldstein came to Rav Moshe, and he sees this man who wrote the sefer against Rav Moshe is coming out with a letter. He said to Rav Moshe, "He just came to you, you should give him a letter for something?" So Rav Moshe didn't want to answer. He says, "Rosh Yeshiva, can please tell me? He just came to you? He spent who knows how much of his life, like attacking you at all fronts for no reason in the worst possible way? And he just came to you because he needed a tova, you should write him a letter for something?" So Rav Tuvia said, "I'm moicha on the cover of the Torah." So Rav Moshe said, "How do you know? Maybe this was my yesh kaina ilamai b'sha achas. Person can do one act in his life, your kaina olam haba. Maybe this was my sha achas." Rav Moshe didn't need a sha achas. His whole life, every single hour was there. So Rav David always used to say that, but there were a lot of such stories with Rav Moshe. He said, because my father never really believed it had to do with him. It was b'shed a certain tzar. I had to go through a certain amount of tzar. My father never really believed that had to do with him. It was b'shed I should go through tzar. But he never really believed that this was the cause of the tzar. He said, if not, so he said Rav David also lived his life that way. So he said there was somebody this person told me, somebody in the yeshiva, maybe he had some anger management issue, and he once got angry at Rav David, and he literally slammed the door in his face. Boom! Slammed the door in his face. And Rav David didn't say anything. He says the next day, somebody was looking for something. He couldn't find it, so he went over to this boy who slammed the door in his face. He said, "You know the pismet you're supposed to say? You say Yomer Rav Binyamin, you're supposed to say Hakol B'ches Kasumin, right? So on." And he found what he had. So he went down, so he said to the Rosh Yeshiva, he said to Rav David, he said, I don't know if he said Rav David. He said, Rebbe, so and so remembered the Omer of Rav Binyamin, Hakol B'ches Kasumin. I found it. He says, how do you know? Maybe you found it in his chus, because he said, I'll help you find it. Maybe because, who says it was because of Omer Rav Binyamin? Maybe it was. That's how he kind of lived his life. It was the whole different mahalach.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org